The night before the Gulf War, the world stood on the edge of fire. Satellite images showed tanks buried in desert sand. Warships filled the Persian Gulf. Diplomats pleaded, warned, threatened. And still, Saddam Hussein did not back down. To understand why, the story must go deeper than invasion headlines and battlefield maps. This was not only a military decision. It was a calculation shaped by power, pride, fear, and fatal misjudgment. In August 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait. The official justification focused on oil disputes, debt, and historical claims. After 8 brutal years of war with Iran, Iraq was financially exhausted. Kuwait and other Gulf states had loaned Iraq billions of dollars. Saddam Hussein expected gratitude and debt forgiveness for fighting what Iraq claimed was a shared regional enemy. Instead, oil overproduction by Kuwait drove prices down, cutting Iraqi revenue. To Baghdad, this looked like economic warfare. But economic pressure alone does not explain Saddam Hussein's refusal to withdraw. One major reason was misreading the United States. Iraqi leadership believed Washington would not fight a large ground war over Kuwait. This belief was reinforced by mixed diplomatic signals before the invasion. Past U.S. tolerance of authoritarian allies and previous cooperation with Iraq during the Iran-Iraq War created a false sense of security. Saddam Hussein assumed threats were political theater, not a real commitment to war. Another factor was regional power ambition. Control of Kuwait would have given Iraq access to vast oil reserves and strategic coastline. With Kuwait absorbed, Iraq would become the dominant Arab power in the Gulf, capable of challenging Saudi Arabia and influencing oil markets. Backing down would not just mean retreat, it would mean surrendering a historic opportunity for regional dominance. Pride and image played a critical role. Saddam Hussein ruled through strength, fear, and symbolism. Retreat under Western pressure risked appearing weak, both internationally and at home. The Iraqi regime depended on an image of defiance against foreign powers. Withdrawal without gains could fracture elite support, weaken military loyalty, and encourage internal rebellion. Survival of the regime mattered more than avoiding war. There was also overconfidence in the Iraqi military. Iraq possessed one of the largest armies in the world at the time, hardened by years of combat against Iran. Leadership believed desert terrain, entrenched defenses, and chemical weapon capability would deter or stall any coalition assault. The technological gap between Iraqi forces and Western militaries was deeply underestimated. Diplomacy continued until the final hours. Sanctions tightened, deadlines passed, ultimatums were ignored. Saddam Hussein gambled that the coalition would fracture, that Arab states would not support a Western-led war, or that prolonged negotiations would buy time. Every assumption proved wrong. When war began in January 1991, the imbalance was overwhelming. Air power shattered Iraqi command structures. Ground forces collapsed in days. The decision not to back down resulted in catastrophic defeat, massive loss of life, and long-term isolation. In the end, Saddam Hussein did not miscalculate once, he miscalculated everything. The resolve of the coalition, the speed of modern warfare, the cost of defiance. What was intended as a show of strength became a historic lesson in how pride, ambition, and misunderstanding can drive a nation into disaster. The Gulf War was not inevitable, but once the choice was made not to retreat, history had already begun moving in only one direction. If you enjoyed this video, then like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel.